Hello everyone, this theoretical tutorial number 17 will clôture the electromagnetism series. We will review how the natural magnet exists on Earth and who use the natural magnet as a compass. But I would not like to finish this series without doing a summary of the 19th century inventions. The magnesite mineral composed with iron and iron oxide is easily found in the nature. But the lodestone, which is a natural magnet, is not so easy to find. The Earth's magnetic field is not so strong to magnet the magnesite even millions of years. We need for that a strong magnetic field even for a short time. Dr. Peter Wasilewski found that he could create this transformation when the magnesite was touched by a storm lightning. He experimented that in the Langmuir laboratory. He almost demonstrated that not all the magnesite is transformed in lodestone. This depends on the crystalline organization. As the natural magnet exists on Earth, we just need to find it. The earliest reference to magnetism is the 4th century before Christ in China, in the book of the Devil Valley Master. Few hundred years later, around the 1st century, people were using the magnet for navigation called spoons shown south, using the fact that the magnet shows always the same direction. Initially, it was only used to get orientation on Earth, not on the sea. It seems that around year 750, compass has been learned by Arabic people from Chinese. Around year 1000, fish shown south was used. At the 11th century, the silk thread was known. In the 12th century, sailor was using the compass, and in 1242, for sure, the Arabic knows the compass. At the 4th century, the compass is a common usage. Close to 1800, Volta invents the battery. Just 1 year before 1800, in 1799, Volta invents the battery. But just 1 year before 1900, in 1899, Thomson shows the existence of the electron. Of course, 100 years earlier, Volta had no idea that some atoms will have the capability to get electrons as the copper, and some other will provide electrons as the zinc. 20 years later, Ørsted, playing with a Volta battery to provide a DC current in a wire, found that the magnet needle was moving and do the first link between electricity and magnetism. The same year, André-Marie Ampère found the mathematical relation between current and magnetic field. 8 years later, in 1828, Gauss and Weber studied the magnetism. Gauss found a method to measure the field amplitude. I want to open a parenthesis to say some word about Carl Friedrich Gauss, born in 1777 and dead in 1855 at 78 years old. He was a mathematician and scientist. He works on number theory, statistics, of course the Gaussian distribution, analysis, differential geometry, geodesy, electrostatic, astronomy, optics, and magnetism, and so on. The old unit was the Gauss, replaced by Tesla in the MKSA system. He was one of the history's most influential mathematicians. But he was also a child prodigy with many anecdotes as this one. One day his teacher asked him to do the sum of the 101st number. He started to add the first and the last one, so 101, and he continued with 2 plus 99 equal 101. So he noted he could do that until 50 plus 51 equal 100. So 5 minutes later, he said to the teacher that the answer was 5050 because it was 50 times 101. Knowing this story, you will never forget that the sum of the n first number is n times n plus 1 divided by 2. It seemed that Gauss was 6 years old when he did this calculation. This short story shows that anybody could do that. It is not truly complex. It just highlights that it depends how we approach the problem. In this first half of this century, another very important event appeared when, in 1830, the first railway line intended for travelers was inaugurated between Manchester and Liverpool. 1 year later, in 1831, Faraday discovered the auto-induction. 20 years later, in 1851, just after the beginning of the second half of the 19th century, Foucault discovered the eddy current called in French courant de Foucault. 44 years after the Ampere's law, in 1864, Maxwell's equation makes the link between electromagnetism and the speed of light with the electromagnetism waves. Maxwell was saying that Ampere was a Newton of the electricity, a huge compliment for André-Marie Ampère. Edison presented its first electric light in 1879. The same year, it was the birth of Albert Einstein. The first transformer was done in 1882 by Golar. Until 1880, the main inventions were each 10 or 20 years. 1800, 1820, 1831, 1851, 1864, and 1879. But an acceleration comes after 1882. Invention came almost each year. 1883, first high voltage transmission of 40 km at 2000 volt. 1885, Westinghouse buys the transformer invention. 1886, Westinghouse brings the electricity in the main street of Great Barrington, produced at 1.5 km at 1000 volt. 1893, Westinghouse wins the electrification of the Chicago Exposition. In 1884, at 5 years old, Albert Einstein receives a compass from his uncle. Einstein always said that he was impressed with this needle showing always the same direction. In 1887, Michelson and Morley tried to detect the presence of the ether by measuring the light speed difference between north-south direction and east-west with the addition of the Earth's speed rotation on the equator. Einstein was also impressed by the Faraday experiment on the auto-induction made in 1831. He was asking to himself how we can know if the magnet of the coil was moving in the auto-induction experiment. This question brings Einstein to the special and general relativity and demonstrates that ether does not exist. I want to thank you for your attention. This Thierry Séquard tutorial number 17 was the last one of the electromagnetism series. I hope you enjoyed it. On my next Thierry Séquard tutorial number 18, 19 and 20, we will speak about the bulk current injection test called BCI test to evaluate the robustness of the communication lines. We will do a model of the BCI probe and it will be a good example to apply what we saw in the electromagnetism series. So see you soon and stay tuned.